Hello everybody and welcome here to the CyberGamer TV studios. Myself, Tobi Wan here on a rather quiet night for Dota, but still a night where shoutcasting was just an essential thing to do. So we are here live streaming out for mainly the people out there on the YouTube channel as well. If you have subscribed, love you all for it. We're here to do a couple of shoutcasts for you from the Farm4Fame 3.2. It is literally the new bracket. So we had our grand final just the other night. If you missed that one, you can check it out in the VOD library as well. But our first match for this evening will be MYM going up against NE. Now this is a best of one. That's how the first matches for the Farm4Fame do actually get played. So without further ado, we'll jump ourselves into this game. Just to remind everybody too, this is a replay shoutcast. So basically, yeah, live wasn't able to be there. Nothing like work and everything else getting into the way of what should be actually covered, but we will be here for your live stream. Also, drop down a little bit of quality. Internet here hasn't been too good today, so it's been dropped down a little bit, and let's actually jump ourselves into the game. Put up a little bit of a box. It is AP mode, so I believe they actually had the draft before we even started. Obviously, we also wouldn't actually have AP mode, which is pretty freaking obvious. So we'll go through the MYM lineup first. So I will have Demon playing as Morphling, Melk playing as Pugner, Pusher playing as Wish Doctor. Of course, he is one of those most amazing support heroes. No actual wards on him for this time around. In fact, Earthshaker, Mania, also a great support player, will be walking around with the wards on top of the Earthshaker. And Queen of Pain backing it up for King A. He will be going up towards the top lane to solo up there. Pugner more likely going towards the mid lane. Yep, Melk is heading off that way right now. And it'll be an ES Witch Doctor Morphling bottom lane. A very, very strong lane through that double stun. Bouncing stun too to come out from Pusher. So something to keep your eyes on very, very closely to see when that one's going to come out. But more importantly, Mania's positioning. Who will be they going up against? The question will be Night Stalker, a hero which has been appearing a hell of a lot in the later games of Dota. I'm only going to say over the last month we've seen him actually appear. And he does get really, really strong at the night time, but during those daytime periods, he's got to be careful and try and be aggressive enough. What makes it worse is when this day actually starts, obviously it is actually the day starting, or a bit of trouble maybe for CM, who was faking the totem. Mania's faked it twice, now he actually drops the real one down, and Morphling as well as Witch Doctor just not going to back that one in there, and Crag will get slightly niggled. But it will be a CM Night Stalker combination down there on the bottom lane. Running around the mid lane is OJ playing as a Vengeful Spirit here for NE. Potom is also in the lineup. Calc playing for Potom. And our mid link, he is Ancient Apparition, a hero which is very, very rarely made it out of the ban pool. Or if he has made it out of the ban pool, the picks have literally made it so he would not be a good choice to actually take. So banning him by forcing different picks or banning him by the normal ban pool has been the way to go for him. But Ancient Apparition is one of those very, very strong heroes. Basically the ability to strike anywhere on the map with his ultimate through his presence, but also a great ganker as well. If you can get that extra stun to chain off him, with the cold feet, holding him in place, can literally gank anybody and forces them back out of position. So that's another big thing to keep your eyes open for with the Ancient Apparition. He does also have a little bit of a attack boost, which you'll see the bit of a blizzard blowing across the map. And that'll be something to keep your eyes open for too. But he'll be going up against Melk in that middle lane. Bottom lane has actually come down too now. So 33 seconds into the game, and the waves come up here, and Calc will be tower hugging on the bottom lane. Which, as far as any are going to be happy, the only downside is Potom's going to get little to no farm whatsoever. But it will actually force MYM to be a little bit more aggressive down the bottom lane, being forced, obviously, with this tree line to come on down. You can hug around the tower, you can gank Potom around the back, and you see now he's already down to half HP, but you can actually gank him around the back. But as far as Morphling wants to go, unless they bring down that tower nice and early, he comes in closer range of the tower. It's a little bit harder to farm up. He needs a couple of levels before he actually has enough damage to really get those last hits. It's a little bit harder on early on the piece, and Potom can get on top of those denies. So as far as like your base damage for Morphling to kick off the start, like your maximum is 50, where Potom has, well actually even that's not that much difference, it's 51 compared to the two. I don't know, whenever I play Potom, it's Morphling, it's always just that little bit harder to get that big damage off early on. But meanwhile, back at the top lane, you do have a double stun lane up here as well. CM with her cone, which can come out, normally goes Nova early on, just to keep that slow, to keep the harassment up, as well as the massive power it's actually got too. Got a little bit of a buff about maybe 4-5 patches ago. Just get that little bit of extra bite behind the Frost. And now they're going to try it as well. King A, there's that Frost. First level goes off. Magic Missile looking to fire it off. Just wants to get a little bit closer. So a little bit more time to actually hit him right now. While King A is trying to actually fake the blink as well. So both heroes up there on the top lane, just trying to fake it out there, while he's actually TP'd in towards that top lane, so Mania is there. Going for a bit of an opening. That Necromancer was basically exposing everything during that one. What they can't expose is the Witch Doctor, who's actually managed to pick up an Invis rune. So we see our first gank, which will come up on the top lane. So Annie's Night Stalker, got to be a little bit more careful, actually, just like basically just sapping the life out of that Necromancer. Does not want to have him there anymore. That does mean the bottom lane will now be a one-on-one, so it's Morphling on Potom. So Potom's got a little bit more room to move with the Witch Doctor as well as the ES, who have switched themselves around. Also, to actually note too, Potom switched down towards the bottom lane. Originally, Night Stalker was headed down there. Mass text spam, nothing like that to actually come through for the chat log. But it is just something to also note for the fact that Potom is able to free farm that bottom lane, and we saw Night Stalker switch towards the top lane. So, like, you know what? We need to have our tri lane going up against theirs, or up against where they didn't have their tri lane, and now the tri lane actually switches around. Instead of Morphling being Baby Tat, it's Queen of Pain, and Queen of Pain is one of those heroes though. She's not actually bad farming. In fact, she's actually freaking awesome. Just trying to farm up a solo lane, because you can get it yourself in there. Your Screamer's there, so you just lower all the creep wave down as far as you possibly can, and then just come through with those last hits through the Scream ability. And it is an easier way to actually farm up here. Interesting to see also. I think Malka's getting a little bit frustrated with the fact he's been harassed there by some form of spell there in the middle lane. You always see Ancient Apparitions use up half his mana already, so just dropping down that Nether Ward, which does basically burn every single time you cast off a spell. I'm not talking for the person who drops it, I'm talking for the opposition. Headrest Rejuvenation, so Pugna, Melk trying to farm up that mecha as fast as he possibly can. There's our Night Stalker still up there on the top lane. Boots of speed so he can get in nice and fast and get that last hits off. Problem with being a melee hero too when you're going for... Oh, Morphling. Waving on that bottom lane, but the leap was a little bit too fast there from Calco. Even with the salve just popping off there, he thought he still had enough time to come up there and harass Demon down. But Calc very, very fast there on that leap. Bringing the creep wave down just a little bit further so he can use that Starfall to get those last hits down. Those little extra Starfalls dropping down until he won Morphling just close enough to get those last hits on. And that's actually a pretty smart play down there by Calc. Witch Doctor and ES, joined by Queen of Pain up on the top. CM just trying to munch her way through the sides of the trees, even though actually Pusher is the one doing that main job. As you can see, just using that Tango regen at the moment to get himself back up to 530. Sometimes Witch Doctors prefer to actually use the their own Voodoo Restoration up their sleeve, so mana is the better way of actually keeping on top of that. Instead, just using up those Tangos. Still got a healing salve up on top of him as well. We'll probably say that for a rainy day, but there's actually two on top of Queen of Pain, so as far as health goes up there on the top lane, they're definitely there to stay. Ancient Apparition trying to actually bring down that Nether Ward so he can actually cast his abilities on top of Pugna, who's doing a hell of a lot of damage right there. Potom grabs the Illusion Rune, heading down towards the bottom lane, while Demon retreats himself out. Doesn't know which one's the real one. Ancient Apparition, though, just forced to use his bottom charges for health more than mana, so he can't spam off his abilities as much as he'd actually like. Night Stalker also can't get close. That's a 2-range, 1 melee up there on the top lane. And even though that is the same for both, Queen of Pain will definitely deal a hell of a lot more damage. Queen of Pain is one of those big burst damages too, through the blink and the scream. Even a Great Frost coming out, knowing there's a couple of heroes around the side there. And it did niggle Pusher as well as King A up on the top, so it was for the greater good. So Ancient Apparition hanging around that middle lane, still going up against Melk. We'll check the CS scores in just a moment as well. In fact, let's do it just after King A harasses our Night Stalker back a little bit further. Even then, Potom was like he's actually dived past the tower. It's a little bit too far there. Demon harassing him down, and Potom forced to leap down the river. And we'll hope for all God there's going to be a regen rune there for him to pick up. And oh, I say it, and there is a regen rune. So be very, very happy with that one. So grabs a regen, should actually leap himself back up, or the cooldown's not quite there yet. Going to keep it inside his own bottle, so harass Demon down as much as he possibly can. Look for that Starfall to come out the second the creep wave shows itself too. Looks like even top lane just poking itself around the edges. Potom being as aggressive as he wants to be on that bottom lane before he has to be forced to use that regen. Needs to have all the mana he possibly can. Pugna farming up that middle lane as much as he can, and Potom just pressuring wherever he is able to do. Let's have a check of the CS scores right now with I see that, and I see a Centaur just come out from the side as they spotted the double pull coming out. but won't actually come off with any goods whatsoever unless VS and CM decide to initiate, which looks like they're going to do too. Going to move themselves in towards where the Centaur's being farmed up right now. Frost goes off, does get the last hit in the Centaur. That's all it's got. ES Fisher from Mania does block Night Stalker on the wrong side of the tracks here, and now Night Stalker has to turn around and actually focus fire a little bit if they possibly could. Blink Dagger comes out from King A. There's that support. All that little freaking glowing water coming out from behind. That's from the Ancient Apparition in the middle lane. So the second they knew that gank was going to go, he sent his ulti up there, and that must have been right on top of level 6. Yeah, it would have been about level 6 when they decided to pop that and go. So that's all they're waiting for. So whenever they want to attack that top lane, the presence of the Ancient Apparition just does so much more damage. So getting him stronger, that's why you see him soloing up the middle lane. That's exactly what they want. The stronger he gets, the stronger his ulti gets, and the better gank's going to be anywhere on the map. So let's continue. I should check the CS scores coming up right now. 26 for 8 for Balinar, the Night Stalker up there on the top lane. His counterpart up there on the top lane is the Queen of Pain, who's at 31 for 7 right now. That did change around a little bit during the game. As I say that, we actually see Queen of Pain dying up here on the top lane. It was just behind the screen. Yes, tries to put down a Fidget, will not get himself away there. There was way too much with Night Stalker. It's his time to shine too. It's the middle of the night. And, well, not middle of the night just yet, but the call for the save game does come out. CM rotates itself back into that lane. But the first 2 kills do go up there on the top lane. One goes to Night Stalker and one goes to, I believe it was our CM who actually got the last hit in that one. But we'll check it in just a moment. In fact, we'll check it just now. But MYM down 1 already. So, yeah, 1 went to CM and 1 went to VS. So Night Stalker getting 2 assists. That's not exactly what they wanted. This early on in the piece is actually not a bad case. For the main reason that you get a little bit more money on the support heroes. So it gives more money for wards as well, and gives everything you actually need for the support heroes to stay on top. So now the bottom lane is being harassed out by Calc again. He's used up that regen room, but he's pushing Demon back. It's the main thing he wanted to do. Demon now with his replicate up. It's going to leave his replicate down there, just doing a little bit of harassment so he can move himself in between the lanes. And whenever he wants to jump down to, or if Potom does get himself near a vulnerable position, can just jump straight on top of that replicate. ES from Mania, now here in the middle lane, ready to actually gank out the Ancient Apparition at a moment's notice. There goes that Cold Feet, just trying to hold Melk in place. Sorry, not the Cold Feet, that's not the Cold Feet animation. But just trying to hold Melk near that tower. Melk actually been very, very close there, forcing Link to actually let off a spell, and the Ward Blast at the same time, the Nether Blast actually came out as well. VS having a bit of fun with the creep wave, just past the top tier 1 tower. Still no tier 1 tower to go down. We're 9 minutes and 30 seconds into this game so far. As far as Melt going, we'll check his money in just a moment too, but with a buckler as well as headdress up, he only needs another 900 gold, and he's got himself his mech, at which point any burst damage which does come out gets instantly countered for the fact you get that good big burst of heal, and then also that consistent health regeneration that does follow it after. Calc on more from the bottom lane. Interesting to see how far behind in Farm Morphling is, considering it's now 10 minutes into the game and he's only got a ring so far. Generally, you see a Perseverance up a little bit faster. Replicate goes off. He might decide to actually keep a little bit more pressure on as he does this. As I say, I see a DD from Melk coming up here, and he's going to actually... Well, is there anyone up here on the top lane actually catch out? No, he's already got 4 heroes of his own up there. And they'll be ready to push out this lane whenever they want to. Now, I'm mainly looking for that Night Stalker to be up on the top lane, try and stop him from farming. And of course, setting back a little bit in his item build. Now, Night Stalker, we've got the Smoke of Deceit is up once again. I say once again, it's appeared so much in the later games of the latest games of Dota. Ever since its inception, but all the teams are now starting to realise just how powerful it actually is. Sitting on the side, you can move without actually being noticed by wards. Ancient Apparition now setting up his ultimate from the top lane. Melk is going to get himself burst damage down while Night Stalker comes in from the side. He gets puts down the Fidget, but the bouncing stun from the Witch Doctor will also keep this and turning it around. Melk now finally does actually pop into a million pieces. The Crack already got the kill in the back, so it was CM for a Pugner was the trade-off. Not exactly what they wanted to actually come through, but MYM will be happy with that one, and now they can push out this top lane. Night Stalker was the run back. ES Fisher comes out just to try and slow down the Night Stalker from coming up a little bit closer towards that tower to try and stop the Scourge Wave from actually hitting it. In fact, Night Stalker pulling the Scourge Wave just back past the tower, just so it starts to actually hit on the Scourge heroes, forcing MYM to fall themselves back. Big wave up there on the top. He's just trying to buy time for his own team. VS and CM back in the mix again. Potom, while all this is happening, just harassing on that bottom lane. Will Starfall this creep wave down, wants it gone as fast as he possibly can. Well, he doesn't know, just hanging around the corner is King A, the Potom, the Queen of Pain. Potom just flops off that arrow, was hoping for a lucky hit it there on King A, but that close range, especially with the fact he's watching out for it. Ancient Apparition drops the oldie behind, but unfortunately for him, the Queen of Pain decided to be a little bit more aggressive and stay on the front side of the tower. Knew that was going to happen as well, but the time it actually took for the ulti to actually travel would have been the same time as it would have taken for the arrow to actually wear off and the harassment to come back, and then he would have fallen back. So it should have actually timed off pretty nicely if that aggressiveness actually came through from Potom, but it was enough. There's we actually see Perseverance completed by the 12-minute mark for Morphling, so still on his way that Lincoln Sphere. A little bit behind just because he hasn't had everything his way. Most Morphs like to free farm early on in the game just so they get that early game advantage. Demon just having to take it a little bit for the team on that bottom lane. Going solo versus solo. Queen of Pain just had a little bit of extra as well. Queen of Pain, though, is also very, very, I wouldn't say massively item dependent, but is one of those heroes which you do need a lot of gold on the back of to get up to that Gwinsu. Looks like now the Perseverance up too, possibly also thinking Lincoln Sphere. Now Queen of Pain caught in that bottom lane. CM puts down the stun, blinks away instantly as the Queen of Pain, not wanting to get too close right now. The Nether Ward from Pugner is causing a couple of issues. Now Queen of Pain turning around, just harassing Balinar back. We have actually made our way into daytime too, so he is not as strong. Might have his ultimate up his sleeve, not with the amount of mana he's got right now, but will actually have the ultimate up his sleeve soon, which does turn everything to night. We'll only want to pressure that though when he actually knows he can get a kill. Looks like Potom and Ancient Apparition trying to have a bit more fun. Let out an arrow to try and track down Pusher. That's going to be perfectly all right. Night Stalker goes back to farming on the bottom lane, which for him this is the time to actually do that too. Just take yourself out of the lane. You don't need to be aggressive around these times. Just farm yourself up a little bit more, just so you can be very, very aggressive when the time comes, and that is when we hit the night time. Night Stalker does not like the daylight, which is a freaking obvious thing considering he's a Night Stalker. 3-1 the kill count coming out. 14 minutes and 10 seconds, 9 seconds, 10 seconds now into the game. And it's one of those games where a lot of the teams, they're just waiting for those times to strike. As I said, Night Stalker needs that night time. Queen of Pain needs that Gwinsu up as fast as he possibly can. Morphling needs that Lincoln's up and can then go into the Ethereal Blade, at which point he can start popping anybody he possibly wants off. Until that point, until that Morphling gets farmed up that much, it's up to Pugner to hold the front lines. Queen of Pain to help and support. VS swap goes off. Tries to bring down Melk once again. Ancient Apparition, great time for an ultimate. Not going to be the better time, though, with Potom trying to get himself away. He did manage to leap himself out of trouble just then. They've lost one for either side, but Potom actually turns it around and manages to get on top of the Potom. He did try to come himself through. And Mania now goes in. ES ulti, a big ES ulti, but it's not enough. A triple kill actually comes out from Calc. The, wow, what a play by Potom to actually get 3 of those kills, picking off the one boy down in the secret shop and then jumped himself back in again to finish it off. 7 for 3 is where we're going to end up. Big kills coming out so far. That triple kill was the first time Calc actually spilled blood as well. Queen of Pain, Witch Doctor, and Earthshaker all appearing on the line. The sideline, that is, considering they're all pushing up the daisies right now. 7 for 3 now. If you have just joined us on the live stream, quality's a little bit lower because the internet's not as good tonight. But we are shoutcasting. A couple of replays from the Farm4Fame 3.2. So there's your first match, MYM going up against NE. We'll have a Druids match for you later on after this match. But for now, it's 7 to 3. So CM just getting onto that towards that middle lane. Morphling trying to defend up the bottom lane as far as he possibly can. Got to be careful. It is actually still midday for Balinar, the Night Stalker, so he doesn't want to get too close to it. That Vanguard will definitely help out his case, though. Arrow flies up. Arrow flies up. Could have actually picked up ES if he was lagging. Had more than enough vision, though, to make sure that wouldn't actually happen. So Morphling just going to keep on farming out that bottom lane. We'll check out his gold count for the moment, because we want to see that Lincoln Sphere getting up on him ASAP. 1,400 gold, so not far away. Not far away at all. Still going to be 20 minutes before that actually arrives. Just up towards flying out for CM. Potom just joining in towards that mid lane too. They've got one tier 1 tower left to actually bring down. Both teams with one tier 1 tower still up. Mid one is not there for the Sentinel side. It's the Scourge one has it for the mid. Sentinel has the bottom tier 1 tower, which is still basically sitting at full HP. If you're going to go iffy on 71 HP, then yeah, that's your choice. Meanwhile, back in the top lane, Ancient Apparition just still free farming right now, which is not something they should be letting happen. If he gets up to level 16 before, like this fast, it is not going to look good for anybody on the map. And while he's still doing this, he can still support anywhere he wants to. Just throws that ulti halfway across the map, sets the point for the trigger, and then burst damage and choose. Mid lane, waiting to erupt. Starfall goes down once again, just trying to clear out this creep wave. Nice Doggers on the front lines. Wants to wait just that little bit longer before this battle actually happens, just so he is actually in the time of his life. Now he might actually go Ancient Apparition, just throws into the trees, having a bit of a look around. And that's that ultimate I was talking about. Could throw it from any lane possible. Now Potom attacking on towards that meat wagon, trying to get in and get the last hit, and then push on towards the tower, which at the moment is in deny range and will be denied by MYM, so that's 100 less gold for everybody on the field. It doesn't really matter to NE at the moment. They're quite happy just to be farming up that bottom lane. Bring the carries out. They don't have a tier 1 tower in the mid lane anyway, so what's the point? With the tier 1 tower gone, they've already got that last tier 1 tower down. So as far as map control actually goes, both teams sitting pretty snugly at the moment for where they want to be. In fact, I'll probably say that NE are feeling a little bit more confident with that tier 1 tower in that bottom lane, which now, as you see MYM rotate themselves down, that tier 1 tower will not last much longer. In fact, the entire MYM side coming down here. But this is the point of actually having a tier 1 tower in the front lines. People like Night Stalker can TP themselves out. You don't have to walk the entire way. You don't have to have BTs to get yourself out that far fast. Instead, you can just TP yourself out later. VS looks like we're actually going to see, once again, the Smoke of Deceit pops off. It's on the other 3 heroes, so your 2 supports, CM and VS. Ancient Apparition can actually still fire off that ability as well while still staying inside the Shroud. As long as it doesn't get close, it doesn't actually trigger off. There goes that ultimate right on top of the heroes. Double TP will now come over the top. Balinar, this is a great play by Annie, trying to hold him in place. They probably wouldn't be ready for everyone of the MYM side, where they'll be happy actually claiming Demon down. So Demon dying once again, Morphling. So really struggling to get him up on the items, which might force the Lincoln Sphere and then maybe not the Ethereal Blade and just keep his stats up instead. Eaglehorn is where you want to go, but sometimes it just forces you to actually go Yasha or Sanjay. Or possibly both and convert them into, would you believe, what's called a Sanjay Yasha. 8-3 though is where we currently sit with NE feeling very, very confident to push themselves out. The boys from Denmark going up against the boys from Denmark, MYM class as a Danish team. Considering most of their lineup is Danish. I think all of it's like Danish. Used to be a little bit of a blur across the line. Back in the days when Kurokai was with them. Nice Talker quite happy to push out this bottom lane, and he's got enough support there. Big creep wave. Was taking the tower for just a little bit, but will turn himself around. Still on the middle. It's not middle of night, so we haven't seen his ulti really pop off just yet. It'll be that massive, crucial part of it all. But it will be more than enough to give him that little bit of extra oomph to get the last hit in the tier 2 tower in the bottom lane. So that does make the first tier 2 tower to a fall for the game. Mid one getting harassed out a fair amount right now. But Ancient Apparition is on the job. 4-star for him. Treads as well. 4-star, one of those basically crucial items to actually get yourself into the right positions. Some people say, oh, let's go Porky, that'll get us in or get us out. If you want to do that, grab yourself a 4-star, guys, because you actually move anybody in and out. Porky is better if you want to come in really close and have that little bit of extra range. Replicant about to die, by the way, by Demon, so just out the front. They thought they managed to actually claim the real ES, but no, Morphling is down on the bottom lane, and Ancient Apparition still just harassing him down. Bane just trying to come up, Balinar trying to come up there from the bottom lane. Not Bane, we don't have a freaking Bane Elemental in this game, but we will see a lot of harassment coming out, and into Ghost, and interesting. Bottom lane, they will just fall themselves back. So Pugner just decrepifying off just there for a sec. While this is happening, King A is still pressuring out that top lane. TP will now come in for the boy in blue. King A has this amazing ability called a Blink, but Kalk also has this amazing ability called a Leap. And knowing King A's already popped off that Leap ability, that Blink ability, he might even thought about going for it. Instead, just to try and defend the lane. And we'll continue the Potom farm towards the Manta style. Possible diffuser, more likely Manta. Pugner pushing out that bottom lane as well. He's got his mech as well as Ern on top. We do have the Planeswalker's Cloak currently on top of him too, so going to look for a little bit of magic immunity. Well, not magic immunity, it doesn't give you full magic immunity, it's 15% resistance, which will actually help him on his way, but you'll probably complete that into Hood of Defiance sometime soon. Tier 1 town in the bottom lane can be pressured off nicely now too, if Pugna decides to do it. His blast not only doesn't affect units and heroes, it also affects those towers too, so it's one of those great things to help you push. That's why Pugna is such a feed hero and generally also ends up in the ban pool these days. Interesting to actually know if Weaver was actually in the ban pool early on in the piece as well. Well, if he did actually manage to miss getting picked, a lot of teams want to play Weaver these days, but just not really getting the right opportunity to do so. Medallion of Courage is currently up for the Vengeful Spirit, so getting one of our two new items as opposed to consumables. So the Medallion of Courage as well as the Django, which you have the 2 options for. Morphling waving himself out, managed to actually find Kalku, who leaped himself up. There's a pot of multi, which will buy him time to get himself back out of this mess. Or actually stay in this mess. Morphling, will he actually fall for the bait right now? There's no TP on top of Potom, but Potom will have that extra leap and will leap himself right inside the camps. Your Morphling is also going to wave him in here. It's literally a battle around the taverns right now between Kalk as well as Demon. They've been fighting each other the entire time, and now looks like all the rest of his teammates are trying to come up to give him a bit of a hand, falling on the sides. Potom actually does manage to come out on top, so Demon will not be happy with that one. Getting done by the Potom, so Potom on Morphling. We see who comes out further again. King A will now come up to try and complete off the job. All he needs is one ult. We've got to be careful of that leap. There goes that leap. Doesn't have a blink to get himself back out again, but Nias Fissure is enough to actually get right on top. And Carl could go down, so being as cheeky as he possibly can. But while that happened, we did lose the bottom tower as well as 2 other heroes dying around the map. But that was a big distraction to come out. And once again, Potom being set back in his build. Morphling being set back in his build. This is not what MYM actually want. It puts more pressure onto Morphling on top of Queen of Pain right now to do it for his team. Now Balana hunting off Malk and just slows him down. There's that Void going off once again. Night Stalker trying to stay on top. TP support's going to come in towards the mid lane too. So Demon with Lincolns as well as Ultimate Orb. So he's still trying to get to that Skadi. He is still trying to get to that Skadi. As far as his money goes, he's actually almost there. So that last kill probably would have actually knocked him back. From the amount of gold he actually needed to have that Lincoln's. Really desperately needing it though. 24 minutes into the game, he's about 10 minutes behind, probably where he should have been. And that's not going to help for his team with Night Stalker getting stronger and stronger. Blink comes off, Pugna dropping down the ward just to try and slow them down, decrepifying his own ward too, just so Balnar can't destroy it fast enough. So if they want to initiate, they would have had to wait a little bit longer. The space of maybe 2 seconds, I think that Decrepify would have lasted for its current level. Good to see that Lincoln Sphere actually completed on top of Morphling now. 25-minute Lincoln, so not as bad as I thought it was. He's only about 5 minutes behind. Still Sentinel in a very good position. There's that Yasha. That Yasha I was talking about. That's what you need to convert into the Manta style. And now you're going to replicate yourself. Do even more damage. Obviously, the master of replication is here in the middle lane. It is Morphling. With his Lincoln's boots and Ring of Basilius. Very, very lean Morphling. Night Stalker now wants to come in towards the middle lane. Now the water's down once again, so they can't fight here. Wish Doctor wants to get that bouncing stun off, but can't get close enough in time. But that Nether Ward just... at level 4, it's literally... You can't cast a single ability around there unless you want to lose half your life. And he trying to look for an opening right now. They're going to find it too. Morphling knows that was an opening. Demon instantly waving himself back. Died way too many times to actually even risk dying once again. Interesting to also note Ancient Apparition just moving himself between all the lanes. Not really wanting to stick anywhere of consequence. Queen of Pain now coming in, blinking herself in. Saw the cold feet going off. So not really going to say about sticking around, but there's that 4-staff. Gets himself out of trouble back towards that tier 1 tower on the front lines, which is still up. And probably has about half HP. So there's that ultimate, just throwing down on top of King A. It's not what he would have wanted. Vengeful Spirit, a little bit of time to free farm in the middle lane. Back to everybody being very, very cautious. MYM realising that if they lose another big battle, then, well, even then we haven't really had a big battle just yet. It's been skirmishes all over the map. But if they lose a big battle, then there's going to be that big push to come out from the Sentinel side. They might even claim a Rax if they decide to go through that bottom lane, which might also be why we're seeing King A try and push it out as much as he possibly can. Doesn't want to have anything pressing this tier 3 tower. Looks like we've got TP support coming down towards that bottom lane. Blue is on the back of it, so Potom is the one to TP in. VS also hanging around for NE, and King A is going to walk straight into him right now. So there's a Blink Magic Missile. We'll follow him up. No Raw to follow it up, and Ancient Apparition will pop off his ulti. It's a little bit too late, unfortunately. Arrow will fly as well, so flying over the top of CM. CM actually coning that beautifully. That Arrow managed to get its full effectiveness, 5-second stun for King A to be there, and still managed to blink himself away. Is there a restoration from Pusher right now? No, there's not. Having to use a Magic Wand charge. There's ES Fissure to try and slow them down, but Balinar trying to catch up as well, but we will see Queen of Pain manage to escape. Great timing to come out there from the MYM support heroes. Melk still moving himself down the lane. This could be dangerous considering CM as well as Potom were hanging around. They used a Potom ulti to try and get themselves in position. There goes that Night Stalker ulti. He wants to try and catch himself up, getting caught behind his own heroes right now. And wants to get that Nether Wall being a pain in the butt. They're going to do it the old-fashioned way. One arrow and then munch off the rest of it. ES not able to get there in time this time around. And that does make it 10-6 now. Still in favour of NE. But we do actually see a little bit of glimmer of hope here for MYM. To come back. Lincoln's on both Queen of Pain as well as Morphling. Morphling still desperately trying to farm up whatever he possibly can. Calc's back up here on the top lane with the haste rune, trying to spot down the Morphling, and he heard the TP. He heard the TP. It's like, oh crap! I hear. He's got to be in that little spot, and that arrow only just missing. Could have cancelled the TP, and then Morphling would have had to wave. Wasn't quite sure if he had the mana to escape from that. Judging by the fact he's still regenerating mana after leaving the main base, I'd probably say he didn't have enough. Wish Doctor helping with the pulls. Giving him that double creep camp. And just farms up the singular one for himself. Make sure he doesn't get too far behind. Good to see ES up there with that Blink Dagger. It's literally an essential item for all ESs. Allows you to get basically the most effective ulti up possible, and also into position very fast for fissures, which then dictate basically where the group battles actually happen. Or if you can lock heroes in place, Blink Dagger over the top and then just lock them in. A little bit harder when you've got a hero like Potom who can leap himself across, and if he gets too close to the edge, Manta Star can pop off and then he can get himself out that way too. Top, just following this Ancient Apparition ulti back up towards the top lane there. Instantly followed it straight back up again. That Potom arrow is a little bit off course as well. Calc not hitting perfectly for the arrows, unless you had that initial stun there. It's not one of those, wow, if I hit this stun, then it's going to be freaking awesome. Actually, it is one of those things, but it's not one of those ones which is a guaranteed stun. Not like the Line Impale, or you have the ES Fissure, which has a big line stun as well. Potom's arrow is that little bit longer, having to travel through the air can be seen, making it easier to avoid. Now comes up and sees the triple pull. Will be able to farm up most of it for himself. If he does get engaged too, you'll probably see the mana pop off just so we can make sure he can get this entire farm. So for the pull from MYM, there's that Manta as well. He's going low on HP, so near that little bit of life buying time for. Emerald Golem being forced back at the moment too with Pusher and Queen of Pain just teaming up for them. But Potom just literally taking the hard work of Pushers and farming it up for himself. Calc staying on top of it. As far as wards go, what have we actually got right now? In fact, they're watching that pull as well. The ward from Krag was actually watching it, so they said, you know what, let's go. We'll get this pull, we'll get this money, we'll go for it right now. And now forming up here in the mid lane, Morphling waves himself over the top, just wipes at the creep wave for the assistance there of the blast from Pugner. Going to look to see if they can bring down Potom. The ES does get the stun off, but with Potom with the leap, does make sure that stun doesn't do too much damage to him. Ancient Apparition still farming up this top lane. Interesting to see if he is going straight for Gwinsu. Possibly Shiva's 2300, so we'll see what his next item will actually be. Morphling now joins the hunt for Roshan. Interesting to actually see how far he's actually gone for the morph, and he's actually keeping a lot of points on strength right now. Obviously being forced to actually do so. considering the amount of ganking that's been going on. Wards once again from NE. They know Roshan is currently trying to be killed. And there's the instant smoke of deceit coming out there from MYM, allowing them to escape, knowing there's no heroes around the place. Night Stalker on the back of his own smoke, trying to have a look around, catch whoever he can out. Morphling heading back up towards that top lane. Wants to have a bit of a go here at Link. Wants to have a bit of a go at Link. Bottom having a bit of a farm down there on the bottom lane. Did he ruin up his sleeve as well? So we've got to think twice about initiating on right now. We do see the smoke just disappears for a moment. Cal getting perma-stunned at the moment. Doesn't have enough for a leap. And there is enough burst damage coming out from MYM to bring him down. He's even facing the right way for that blink. But would not have been able to get himself out. Would not have been able to get himself back out of here. In to see Angie being the saver here, with MYM being in the game. Roshan getting harassed out a little bit here. King A staying on top of the board. Wants to come out at the right times. Obviously the right time is all going to be set up here by Annie. They're still watching this Roshan go. There's so many freaking wards up here right now. 2 from MYM. One's about to pop into nothing. And there she goes. The eye does actually disappear. But MYM still want this life. Still want the life of Roshan. Even if they're just using it distraction right now, giving Morphling a little bit of time to farm. It's working for them because now they just rotate themselves out. Go into the creep lanes. Still 10-7. Longer this game goes, the better it is for MYM. Gives Morphling more time to farm. Gives Balinar more time to move himself out of mid-game and to get less stronger. Without the kills coming off, he's definitely not going to be the insane initiating man that he needs to be for nighttime. Roshan, once again, now being attacked. Only one ward up from Pusher, so we have lost our ward from NE. They are blind as far as this is going. And Roshan should actually take a fall right now. NE are 2 spread around at the moment. Ancient Apparition ulti flying in from the top lane. We'll see Roshan almost dead. Depending on his time when he actually pops it off, it could have actually got the last hit. I'm not quite sure if that ultimate actually works on top of Roshan. Big arrow flies up. Managed to actually pop off the Glymph. Link already managed to get 1 kill there on Pusher. And now just trying to keep the pressure on front of the Roshan pit. So looks like MYM will want to fall themselves back. Of course, we will see NE want to bring down Morphling, but it's not possible. Not with that Lincoln Sphere, especially with the ES fissure that did lock them out of play. More importantly, it just stunned them, which didn't allow them to keep up the pressure. Link still having a great old time to himself right now. Throwing down an ulti, expecting an attack to come out. Knowing Queen of Pain was moving around a little bit, so just throwing himself back. It was either that or a misclick. Pot him back up to farming at the mid. No new items coming out for anybody at the moment. Nothing's on top of the Crow, just a TP scroll sitting out there too, so it'll all be about money. And money, we see 3,000 on top of Morphling, 3,200 on top of King A as our Queen of Pain. Jump back to Balinar, you got 2,300, 2,100 on Calc. So that's our Morphling. Ancient Apparition must have bought something up. He's sitting at 247 HP, and that's why we're actually seeing a Gwinsu completed on top of him. So he didn't, in the end, go for the sheep stick. Which is definitely what they needed to. Just that little bit more disable. Demon is getting nailed a little bit down more on the bottom lane. Got to be careful too. He wants to shift a lot of his life into that Agi. Obviously, Morphling, his critical ability is to be able to shift himself between strength and agility. Let's say I want to have this many points in agility. Do it now. Go. Awesome. Fantastic. And that's exactly what he wants to do. The problem is when you do that, you take points away from strength, you lose that desperate life you actually need to stay alive. And we might actually see this tier 1 tower finally go down. TP support coming out towards the bottom lane. ES is actually just a replica of him coming up around the side, but Night Stalker, his ultimate is enough to scare Morphling back a little bit further. Balinar happy to farm up around these times. Keeping the tabs on everyone. Queen of Pain. Looks like we'll see Wish Doctor and ES reforming up here on the top lane. Kalk has got to be careful not to show himself too much, and we're going to see one hell of a blink and stun. Blink, stun, ulti, Fisher, damage, bounce stun, just to finish it off, and Kalk takes the fall. On the wrong side of the river once again. That's a mistake made by Annie. It's one thing you should ever do. If you're ever playing a game of Dota, even if you think you are like the most powerful hero on this map right now, you do not cross the river when so many heroes are missing. In fact, you only cross the river when you have vision around the place. And as far as vision go for NE, they're great wars before. Now they actually have no vision whatsoever. Ultimate information apparition set up towards the top lane too, just to try and slow down this creep wave. Only tagging off the enemy, so just getting its timing wrong just a little bit there. Tier 2 tower about to go down. And he only have one ward up on this entire map so far. And that's watching that bottom river. Even there, doesn't have vision of the rune. It's just watching out the front of that Roshan pit when it all gets set up here. Ancient Apparition looks like he's in a bit of trouble on the bottom lane. TP support's about to come in though. And Demon is still fighting from the replicate. So Morphling can jump in at any point of this battle, which is not what they actually want. Morphling now jumping back to his replicate and using it as a defense thing. Demon actually got the last hit with the replicate, now trying to TP out there. We do see the Void coming out and now she gets the stun off. So he will be going nowhere fast. Is there a wave? No, he has no mana for it whatsoever. Still trying to get himself back out of it. Ancient Apparition ulti will be enough. But he does have that Aegis Immortal up his sleeve too, so he might turn himself around and just fight, wave, and go. And that's exactly what he does do. But that Aegis Immortal is now no longer on the field, which is exactly what Annie actually wanted. Not what Demon wanted, but what Demon did want was that Ethereal Blade. So 38-minute Blade has come up. So decided he's got more than enough to do the damage. Now it's going to play the right positioning. Has shifted even more points to Agi, so 30 actually does even see more of a shift. 91 to 27. So ready to actually attack out there. 93 plus 53 damage will come out from him. At a very, very fast rate too, with that Agi being so high. So bottom lane is going to have its own creep wave go. Pot 15 charges on the magic wand, saving them for a rainy day. DD Rooney didn't. He's quite happy to pop that one off nice and early. CM and VS just having a bit more fun around that top lane. They'll be heading up there in just a moment after popping in the secret shop to buy a point booster apiece. I say point booster and vitality booster. Vitality booster for CM. But Potom is around there, so NE have to make themselves a bit of a push sometime soon. Without this push, they're literally just going to be sitting on the back lines. But we do see Ancient Apparition heading up towards the top lane. Gwyn's still on top of him, so 4 heroes here for NE. They will be ready to go. Night Stalker also joining up. So everybody is currently inside the smoke of the seat. That's all 4 of them there, so no matter what wards are currently around. Just looking for any hero whatsoever to gank. With the pressure being applied on the Tier 2 tower by Potom, there should have been 1 hero going up there so far. No Tier 2 tower in the mid lane too, so it's a dangerous place for Queen of Pain to be. MYM do have that ward down there, just keeping a little bit of tabs around for NE. They will spot Night Stalker heading on down. Don't see the smoke wearing off just yet. Queen of Pain trying to rotate herself down, knowing Night Stalker is on the tail. VS wants to get closer. Frost goes off. Swap goes up. Magic Missile then couples off the back of it. King A is completely called out of position right now. Will he manage to blink himself away? He's got enough time. Still with a lot of life left and does manage to actually get himself away just far enough. Balnar is not giving up just yet, or maybe he has to. Queen of Pain's on the other side, and he needs to get down towards that bottom Tier 3 tower to try and defend it. After the TP come back out, Pugna was quite happy to be aggressive. Yes, and Morphling back up there on the top lane. Morphling, how's he going so far? Morphling, Demon, after a bit of a slowish start with two deaths on his name. 240 CS score is where he's currently sitting. No kills to his name, which is a little bit surprising for a Morph, but considering he had to go 1v1 early on in the piece, and then his CS score wasn't amazing early on. Yeah, had to take a little bit of time to catch up, but now more than caught up. And we'll have basically more than enough power to actually stay and fight in these battles. 173 for 10 is where Queen of Pain is currently sitting at. 161 for 20 for Pugna. 195 for 25 for Kalk, who's managed to actually get himself up a Maelstrom. So nothing like a bouncing chain lightning attack to help you actually try and push yourself out a little bit further. Majolna wouldn't be too far off as well. Frost goes off, and Night Stalker quite happy, ready to push in here. So NA have decided they actually finally want to enter the main base. It's taken them 42 minutes to get to this point where they say, what, we're happy with this. Arrow from Potom, just fishing a little bit here. Tier 3 tower getting harassed off. Bouncing stun will go around from Witch Doctor. There's a shotgun morph. He puts out the blaze. Still not enough power to actually get that last hit. That's what happens when you have a slow morph off the mark. Pipe pops off here. And Queen of Pain, she managed to live through this one. ES now blinking down. Fisher goes off. Good totems on the back of it too. Did drop the oldie. Wasn't a lot of units, so wasn't a lot of pressure coming through there. The Morphling waveforms over the top. Does bring down Calc. Now Auger goes down as well. Pusher was on him. Trying to get any hits they possibly could to bring him down. Now we see King A. Everyone's just sharing it up. We've had 1 kill for 3 different heroes so far from MYM as they push back this NE push. And NE, they knew they had to go for something sometime soon. And, well, they go CM just sitting there on the side. And King A manages to walk away with a double from that one. Gwynsu and Lincoln Sphere on top of Queen of Pain. It's exactly what she wants at this point in the game. Probably wanted him a little bit earlier, but I think she actually had him a little bit earlier too. And now we'll see MYM push out the lanes. We'll go for Arax. It's the power of that scream I was telling you about as well. So great for going solos, but even better for just cleaning up creep waves once it gets up to level 4. Queen of Pain just blinking herself in now. Really being aggressive, King A. Gwynsu goes off, just harassing down. Poison Sting on top. That's a lot of damage coming through. Morphling is there. Blade goes off as well. And was only just able to get his force push staff there from Link to get himself back inside his main base. Without that staff, he would be dead right now. And Balna, great VS swap. Will hold King A in place. Blinks himself back up again. Another magic missile. Morphling waves himself out of troubles, leaving his teammate to actually die there. Just need to get himself away from Night Stalker. But Night Stalker was the one that managed to get the last hit here. And now we'll rotate himself in towards that middle lane. ES Fissure coming off, not actually helping Night Stalker out at all. He has to move himself onto the other side, but did in fact actually go down in the end. Link got the last hit from that one. Calc was there in support as well. Funny enough though, Calc actually not even getting an assist there, so he didn't even get 1 hit off onto that ES. Pusher having a great old time, just farming up whatever he possibly can right now. He got 1 kill, it's like, oh, I might as well farm right now. So you see both the new items up, Medina Courage we saw before. Now we see the Django up. A little bit of free farm coming out for the boys. MYM Demon caught in completely the wrong place, but it's actually just the replicate. And Morphling will be quite happy to let that go. Potom as well, just hopping himself around. Ancient Apparition coming towards the front lines. Gwynsu completed on top of him. Ogarax are trying to get to his BKB ASAP. All 5 heroes once again lining up for NE. They do have themselves possibly 2-3 minutes before that bottom lane as well as top lane. Push themselves down inside the main base. Just going to try and push in and get this tier 3 tower. And there goes a creep wave. Their own one now coming up behind. Night Stalker instantly quite happy, just go straight to the front lines. Tank it up for the team. Arrowfish is back there. Glimp now pops off as well. Night Stalker just getting a little bit too close to those tier 4 towers. Tier 3 tower in the mid does go down. Netherward goes up. Magic Missile. Swap as well. So Melk should actually take a 4 from this one. He already got his Netherward up, which is what he wants. But we will see that being taken care of here by Auger as Pusher managed to get a kill up a little bit higher there. So managed to get a kill just above the main racks. And now Vengeful Spirit is going to be forced to go back. Decrepified blasts off, and that's because Pugner is brought back. They will not let this mid-racks go without a fight. And in fact, they've definitely put up a fight. They've managed to bring down 1 so far. Queen of Pain having a bit of fish around, trying to see whoever they possibly can. Ancient Apparition trying to slow anybody down there in the middle lane. And Sneaky from Auger coming out. So Pusher's like, oh, well done, dude. Well done. I pay that. I respect that. 15-13 is currently where we sit, 45 minutes into this game. So still no racks going down. 2 attempts from NE. MYM, they had an attempt as well. Didn't get all the way in. They managed to bring down tier 3 tower, which is exactly what both teams have managed to achieve so far. Roshan is going to be the key for MYM, they believe, to get their victory. Need that Aegis Immortal, only level 2 Roshan, so we don't have a cheese up just yet. But it will be a level 2 Roshan. So a little bit harder to bring down. Roshan just disappearing from all sight there from the entire MYM side. You see Wishdot now coming down as well. Be here to help out the rest of his team with the restoration. Looks like he stacks the auras with that Django on top of him as well. But Roshan will actually die. Big burst damage goes through. Aegis Immortal goes on top of Queen of Pain. And also the Illusion Room will come out as well. No bottle for her, so you have to use it straight away. CM, back foot in the middle. Always the back foot when you're on your own side of the turf. Calc having a bit of farm up here on the bottom lane. Got to be careful. Wish not to bounce if someone wants to come through. I guess it's just a little bit off here, but the Maldic does come off as well. Very, very short range arrow. Big Wish Doctor ulti. That should be enough damage to actually... No, it's not. No, it's not. Bottom should be able to get himself back out of here. Did take a lot of damage, and Maldic might actually puff him. It might puff him into oblivion, but no, the Maldic does wear off, and Potter will retrieve himself back out. I was waiting for the animation for the Maldic to actually come up on top of him, but it was just hiding away for just a couple of seconds. Replicate of King A there in the middle lane. I should say replica of the Queen of Pain, being King A's. But Demon's ready to have a go here in the middle lane. BKB is up on top of him too. Spry's less on the stats right now. Still sitting about 1600 HP, which is where you need to be for this time of the game. Will easily get most of this wave up on the top, just damaging it down a little bit. So he just wave himself back over the top. And there you go, straight over the top, and managed to pick up every single creep in that wave. So important to actually watch these small little movers from a Morphling. It's just those tiny little things that really help you get that big burst of gold to come in. Just to make sure you can get yourself farmed up, like heroes like Morphling, who are level and farm dependent, like massively level and farm dependent. Without them, he's literally useless. Now waving up over the top, Blade goes over top, he wants to go in for Link, and Demon with the BKB up too will basically make anything twice about actually engaging him right now. And MYM will now pressure on this mid-Rax, and Night Stalker does put out his ultimate. Dust pops off as well. They want to keep tabs on everything right now. And with that pipe going off with the Netherward finally going down. Morphling waves himself back out. Queen of Pain blinks herself in. Ulti's over the top. Still trying to bring down Night Stalker. He's retreating himself down before we do see Demon fly right over the top there. But Pusher is the one that claims the last hit. VS also caught out of position right now. And this should be the mid-Rax going down. It's still one down from either side. While Buyback still coming out from Night Stalker. He's got to stay alive and stay alive for his team right now. Blasted off, do whatever damage he can to MYM. Rax goes down during the middle of this fight. ES still caught in the frost cone. Bounce Stone wants to go off there, trying to get Balinar down, while King A is currently on the hunt for him. He moves down to his tier 3 tower for protection. Has lost his melee Rax, so needs to come up there to make sure he doesn't lose the rest of it. And now, does Void swap right on top of Pugner. Melk should die from here, or Willy, the cold feed is on, and now they have to retreat themselves back out again, but CM is there, the master of cold, gets the kill. Aegis Immortal pops off finally from Queen of Pain. And wow, they can still keep the pressure on here. Demon's back again. He's going to look for another Blade BKB victim to come out. And that is the mid-Rax going down. King A just caught in the cold. And then he caught back at base as well. They've got a B to try and regen themselves up. Only 3 heroes up for both sides right now. Morphling, however, is literally multiple heroes for MYM. At least that's how it faces when you go up against him. Night Stalker being up, managed to catch out the Replicate. Put the Void down on top, and Replicate just takes too much damage for that one, so you know it's not the real one. Push it back to the farm, so everything will go a little bit more quiet now. MYM know they're in a good position. But this mid-Rax being completely down from NE means they need to be as defensive as possible. That mid lane will require at least one hero to be there at all times. Looks like Night Stalker going with a Assault Cuirass build. Please for the Hyperstone to come up. Generally actually pop up the Hyperstone early, so just running a little bit low on gold after the buybacks he actually had. For this time of the game, if he didn't have to have those buybacks, he would have been looking a hell of a lot better as far as like item build goes. In saying that as well, though, without those buybacks, they would actually have lost the game already. So NE doing what must be done. Morphling up there on the top is going to wave this wave pretty freaking harsh. Way too much for him to farm up there. Way too much. There's like 3 waves for him. Trying to buy himself a little bit more time for another wave. Or maybe not. Just do it the old-fashioned way. As I say, that looks like we had a bit of a... we had a gank there on the bottom lane with the Queen of Pain. King A going down. TP in towards middle there, so NE just hitting wherever they possibly can. King A being down for over, well, about 75 seconds. I think it just popped up then. So 75 seconds on the sideline for the MYM side. This is an opening for NE. Can they manage to push out this mid lane and get this counter-Rax? If they manage to actually pick up the counter-Rax, then things are going to be looking a hell of a lot better for them. AA and VS already there on the front lines trying to help out. Starfall comes through. Sholna definitely helping out. Sorry, Maelstrom. Sholna actually not up yet. So this Morphling is pushing out this top lane. No replicate in the middle for him to jump to. Or the bottom, so he's going to do this the old-fashioned. Just push it out, then walk your way home. Or just use what's called a TP scroll. That also does help you. More than likely, though, he won't actually fall back from this top lane. As I say that, he's actually falling back from this top lane because for some reason, NE just thought, you know what, this is a bad idea. Already come back, and that'll be why, because Queen of Pain actually bought back. They said, well, you want to push us? Well, you need me for this fight if we're going to manage to live through it. So Queen of Pain buying back, so maybe NE's even just trying to bait out the buybacks. More than likely, they would have won the racks. The racks is more important to them right now. Taking about 1,400 gold off the back of a Queen of Pain is it's good, but it's not going to be the be-all and end-all of Alakazam. 19-7 is currently where this game is sitting, 52 minutes into it. Both teams have been so defensive the entire game. Not wanting to take a risk. Jumping in when you think you might be getting on top, and if it goes bad for you, then you can literally say, oh, I was cautious. They're still trying to farm up whatever they possibly can, keep these lanes pushed out. Map control is where we're going to sit from now on. Pusher already dropping down. Oh, is that Nagus? Yeah, no, not Agus, Naganims. You gotta love the animation he gives to ES when that happens. Count killing himself up there on the top lane. I'm not quite sure what happened to him just then. He wasn't really near anybody to actually die just then, so manages to actually die, so we'll check that guy out a little bit later. But we will actually see King A now ready to pressure out this mid, but decides it's probably not a good idea, but VS decides it is. VS swap goes in, pushing to get himself caught out the first one. Queen of Pain turns herself around to help out here. King A, big ulti right over the top of VS's head, not doing a lot of damage to Balinar the Night Stalker, which is the one he actually wanted to kill just then. Potom has bought back, so they're going to look for this arrow to fly up there. Morphling waving just at the right time. Void wants to come out. BKB will not allow them to actually get the stun off, and we will actually see the retreat coming out there from the Morphling. 19-17, TP now coming towards the bottom lane, and instantly ES, Mania knows he's in over his head, so blinks himself straight back out of it. Now back in his head, with Witch Doctor coming in to help him. One ward, watching the movement of those heroes coming out. So MYM, aggressive lane positioning wards. They want to know when the right time to push is, where the opening is. Just because the creep wave is generally pushed out there doesn't mean you can just instantly assume that. Yes, looks like he's blinked in towards that bottom lane already, trying to keep the pressure on top of Link. Potom now TP's in over the top. They're still fighting on top of the Nether Ward, but it's not going to stop them from killing Mania right now. They've got to destroy that Nether Ward. Now they can keep the pressure up. Force staffing the Night Stalker up there, and now he's actually blocking Potom as he tried to run up the ramp and turning themselves around. Big blast over the top. Still not able to get the kill until he does wave himself over on top of CM. So one down from either side. Support hero for the Sentinel side. Scourge lost a little bit something a little bit more important. Support, but still an ES is down on the sidelines. MYM will try and push out this bottom lane. Looks like NE making the most of the well that is actually currently hanging around here. So Glimph will buy them a little bit more time. Or will they? No, going to wait for the Glimph. Now the Glimph comes. 4 seconds until the creep wave comes off. Now Balinar turns himself around. He wants to get that kill. Morphling also wants that kill. He's already waveformed himself right over the top. Blast comes through. Just a big, big blast from the Ethereal Blaze. There's so much damage. MYM ripping up the bottom lane. They've got 1. They've got 2. They've got 3. They're about to make it 4. Wave goes over the top. They're killing down Balinar on his retreat. Ancient Apparition is the only one left alive. Demon gets himself a double kill. Ancient Apparition is the only reason he's alive because he actually bought back right now. Potom as well. He's back in the mix and wants to get towards those front lines, but the bottom racks is down. That's a double raxing, and with MYM now this far inside the main base, there is very little no hope, and Morphling just wiping up the rest of this creep wave. King A, Starfalled and arrowed. He now just comes himself straight back in there, screams himself off, finds the real Potom, and then just Ethereal Blaze off the rest of it. Morphling still wants to come in, and Ancient Apparition starving himself back out of, luckily of range of the Queen of Pain oldie. Lucky for him. Ancient Apparition still trying to do whatever he possibly can, but Tier 4 towers are now under siege. MYM will claim their first round match of the Farm4Fame 3.2. The GG well played does come out there from NE. So as far as who gets to represent the Danish boys in the Farm4Fame not Farm4Fame 3, but it's 3.2 is currently where we're sitting. We've already had the first round off. And now that is the second one going through. So MYM will secure themselves in a place in the quarterfinals, I believe it's actually classed as Farm4Fame 3. And what do you guys say is a bit of a, well, it was pretty confidence play. was pretty confident play for everything they actually had. Morphling struggled on very, very early there by Demon, just not able to get exactly where he needed to be. And that's just something which I think MYM decided as a whole. It's like, you know what? We don't need Morphling completely farmed up right now. He can get farmed up a little bit later. We trust in Demon to get that much farm up and just put the rest of it on top of Queen of Pain. That's all they really wanted to do. That's all they really had done as well. And Queen of Pain got farmed up, was able to initiate nicely, and the rest of the team just fell into place after that point. But MYM was a little bit shaky, and both teams very defensive. Haven't really seen that kind of defensive play coming out from teams in a little bit of a while. Dota of later times has been very, very aggressive for most people. So MYM and NE just setting a different pace for tonight. Of course, speaking of tonight, we will have our next game coming up in just a moment. It'll be Druids versus Unique. The Shoutcast are going to grab a drink. I will keep the live stream up there. But for everyone tuning in on the YouTube channel, thank you very much. This one was actually for you guys out there. Do put up the live stream, but for everyone out there who's like, give me Dota Shoutcast, your wish is my command. So we do actually have this replay Shoutcast of the Farm4Fame number 3. It is the tournament number 2. First round, and we do see MYM going through over the top of NE. NE, though, good players. Let's see how they go in the next Farm4Fame. We'll have to wait till then to actually find out how they actually go. But thank you very much for tuning in, and yeah, we'll be back in just a moment with our second match of the night.